Okay, we're going to go to Isaiah 54. Isaiah the 54th chapter. And verse 14. Isaiah 54 and 14. And it reads, in righteousness shall thou be established. You hear that? We know righteousness is keeping of the laws of the Most High. So in righteousness, keeping of the Most High's laws, shall we be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression. We're going to be far from oppression. But thou shalt not fear. And from terror, for it shall not come near thee. That's what we're working for. Look at verse 7. Isaiah 54 and 7. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies, plural. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve. So many times we deserve to get something. Most I say, with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee. He said he's going to hide his face from us till we acknowledge our offense. In our affliction, we're going to seek him early. He said, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment. This is the Most High's time. But with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, said the Most High, thy Redeemer. Thus say the Most High. Look. Look at verse 3. Isaiah 54 and 3. It says, for thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles. And our seed shall inherit these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited. Say, fear not. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. But thou shalt not be ashamed. Neither be thou confounded, confused. For thou shalt not be put to shame, but thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth. We're going to forget the shame of all the things that we went through in becoming a nation. And shall not remember the reproach, the disgrace of thy widowhood anymore. For thy maker is thy husband, the Most High of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, the power of the whole earth shall he be called. See, that's why this is all worth it. Zechariah 14th chapter, because people have done what they've done to us and are reaping the benefits of those that done the things to us. But like we went through what we went through, everybody got to go through something. Thus say the Most High. Zechariah 14 and 13. Zechariah 14 and 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Most High shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. You hear that? Just like we read in 2 Ezra 15, 14 verse down. Gonna be war in the streets. And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together. You hear that? That's why you can look for reparations if you want to. This sounds like the ultimate, exceeding reparations. You hear what it said? And the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together. Gold and silver and apparel in great abundance. You hear that? In great abundance. Because what scriptures say, the wicked are a ransom for the righteous. So, look at verse 12. And this shall be the plague. You're looking at all these plagues. This is going to be the plague wherewith the Most High will smite or kill all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, fought against the Israelites. What is he going to do? Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. See? That sounds like that lady that was on that fence in that movie, what was it? Anyway, I mean, she was on that fence and it just burned her up. She disintegrated from the nuclear destruction. I can't think of the movie right now, but y'all know what I'm saying. That's what it's gonna be like, nuclear destruction. Terminator, okay, Terminator. The water. See? It's gonna be just like that lady that was on the fence. And she just disintegrated. Burned up. That's what he said. That's how it's going to be with everyone that has fought against us and oppressed us. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. That's why he's talking about the missiles coming. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Jeremiah 51:30. Jeremiah 51:30. I know it's kind of harsh for a lot of people because y'all used to that y'all just want to have some feel good, but this feel good is to know the prophecies of the Most High and to bring them forth so you'll know. Hopefully it'll reach somebody that will change. They want to be part of it because there's going to be a remnant of all nations that are going to be redeemed. Hopefully you want to be one of those remnants. Listen, Jeremiah 51:30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. The mighty men of America forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women, scared like women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars, her security are broken. Gonna be broken down. One post shall run to meet another. Y'all should do a movie on this. All this is coming out. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. They're going to come from the East Coast, hey, the West Coast or whatever. Your city is taken, your country, the cities and the states are taken at one end. They're going to come and say, hey, man, they finished. And that the passages are stopped. You can't even go from place to place. And that the passages are stopped. And the reeds they have burned with fire. And the men of war are frightened. I mean, come on, don't take a rocket science and figure it. We've seen this. Go to secondary, even the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Forces. This is what it's saying in 2nd Ezra 13. When they preparing to fight a Mashiach Yahushua, this is what it says. Verse 8. 2nd Ezra 13 and 8. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue a Mashiach Yahushua, when he come with his 200 million angels, were so afraid. They're going to be so afraid. Like I say, they're afraid here. They're going to be so afraid, and yet does fight, because they're under orders. They're going to be afraid, but they're going to fight. And he's going to burn them up. Tell you from 9 to 11, verse 9 to 11, you're going to burn over. Ain't going to be no but dust and smell of smoke. For that particular war. That's why it says, verse 32, Jeremiah 51, it says, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they are burned with fire, and the men of war are affrighted. See? They're going to be afraid. But thus say the Most High, power of hosts, power of armies, power of angels that are armies of the Most High, the power of Israel. You see that? The power of Israel, of the Israelites. The daughter of Babylon, America, the daughter of Babylon, the Edomites, is like a threshing floor. It is time to dress her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. You know? Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest gonna come. Well, he gonna bring us into our land. But we gotta get it right, y'all. Revelations 18 and 4. The angels, everyone's waiting on us. Revelation 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. See, sin is an action that you do. You in it. You're in the world, but you have to be of the world. Don't be partakers of her sins. In that you receive not of her plagues. That's what we've been looking at. These prophecies talking about the plagues that the Most High bringing on this place. Where her sins have reached unto heaven. And the Most High remember her iniquities. The Most High remember the sins and the wickedness and the evil of America. Reward her even as she rewarded you. And double unto her. Double according to her works. See that? So they're going to get double according to the things they've done. In the cup which she have filled, fill to her double. That's only fair. Hold that. Because when you look at us, as children of Israel, what did we receive? Let's find out. Go to Isaiah, the 40th chapter. Verse 1 and 2. And it reads, comfort ye, my people, who are the 12 tribes of Israel, said your power, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said, comfort, be comforted. It says, speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, speak ye comfortably to the Israelites, and cry unto her. Like I'm crying unto you to hear the word of the Most High and change. That her warfare is accomplished. See, our warfare is accomplished. We come out of the world. That's why warfare is accomplished. Look at James. Hold that. Hold James. Go to James 4 and 4. Our warfare is accomplished, right? Because we have done this as a people and come out of this way. James 4 and 4. What warfare he's talking about? He said, ye adulterers and adulteresses. This is James 4 and 4. Know ye not? Don't you know that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You be friends of this world, they make you at war with the Most High. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of the Most High. So that's what our warfare in dealing with come out of the ways of this world. To be separate. That's why he said, Isaiah 40:2. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, the Israelites, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. Our warfare is accomplished. That her iniquity is pardoned. Our wickedest things that we've done in the world and so forth is pardoned. Because we coming back to the Most High's rules and regulations, His laws, statutes, commandments, His moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. Our warfare is accomplished. That her iniquity is pardoned. He forgiven us. For she have received of the Most High's hand double. You hear that? We have received of the Most High's hand double for all her sins. So that's why you see they're going to receive double for all their sins. That's why he said, just in case you forgot, Lamentations 4:22. Lamentations 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. Your warfare is over. Our warfare is going to be over. O daughter of Zion, O 12 tribes of Israel, the glory of the Most High, He will no more carry thee away into captivity. Would you think it's going to be another captivity after this captivity? No. He said He ain't going to never carry us away into captivity. What is He going to do? He will visit thine iniquity. He's going to visit thine iniquity. O daughter of Edom, He will discover thy sins. Right? So when that's why I said the eyes of the Most High are upon the sinful kingdom. Right? Going back to Revelation 18. He said, verse 5, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven. For her sins have reached unto heaven. He's going to discover their sins. So their sins, the Most High looking at in His heavenly throne. And the Most High have remembered her iniquities. He remembered the wickedness that she's done. He said, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. Didn't we receive double for our sins? So that's just fair. They're going to get double for what they've done. Double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup she hath filled to her double. Say they're going to get double. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. Revelation 18:7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. This future prophecy. But she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. What she said in her mind, that's prideful. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. Death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High power who judges her. Every nation had a certain dispensation of time to rule. Egypt, Egyptians, the Syrians, Babylonians, Persians and Medes, the Greeks, the Romans. The Arabs had a little time. The Ammon and Moab had us in captivity for 18 years with the Jewish people. You see, every nation had a dispensation of time to rule. Did they want to follow this? You understand that Most High's truth? See how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow. They got that queen out there in the middle of the harbor in New York, Statue of Liberty. I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. That's real prideful, right? Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. But strong is the Most High power who judges her. And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived illicitly with her, shall bewail her. They're going to be crying over her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Now, where you going to be at? Because it's coming. Like I said, where we going? We don't know where to go. As a whole nation of people, the Most High got to bring us into our land. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, this mercy going to be saying this, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that great city America, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. 1 hour. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. But no man buyeth her merchandise any more. Woo. How about that? Say nobody buying her merchandise anymore. Look, and it names all the different things that they're benefiting in America costliness. And then verse 15 says, the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour, hear that, 1 hour, so great riches has come to naught, so great riches come to nothing. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. They ain't going to be near it. And cry. They're going to be crying when they see when they saw the smoke of her burning. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? What city is like unto America? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. 1 hour is she made desolate. That's why they say, go to Isaiah 47th chapter. This is what they're going to be saying. Isaiah 47. Verse 7. That's what they're saying. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever. Meaning going to be a queen? I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart. You ain't laid this to thy mind. Neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. Meaning you're going to kill the men, kill the husbands. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Hear that? Why are you going to do this? Go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. Joel, the 2nd chapter. We're going to bring forth some more. Joel 2 and let's start at verse 1. Say, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. But the day of the Most High cometh. The day of Amashai cometh, the judge and make war cometh too. But it is nigh at hand. It says near at hand. For those that have ears to hear and really looking at this for what it is, for what the Most High is saying in prophecy of these end times. a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds. That's them chariots and the angels, and of thick darkness for all the destruction that's going to be going on that you're hearing about. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, a great people and a strong. They have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. This is what it says. A fire devours before them. Fire gonna be coming out before the warriors of the Most High. And behind them a flame burner. Behind us, they burn up everything, and then moving forward, behind them gonna be flames. As due to rear the march, they're gonna see the flames burning from the fire that's before them. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. Where they going, it's gonna be like the Garden of Eden. And behind them a desolation. Behind us, like we reading about, nobody ever gonna live here. In certain parts of this world, this earth. He got to burn it up to purify it. Two purifying elements, water and fire. He put the rainbow in the sky to remind himself, Most High remind himself that he's not going to flood the earth anymore like that anymore. He's going to bring fire to purify it. That's what I say. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. The land before us is going to be like the Garden of Eden. And behind them a desolation, a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Hear that? No matter what. I mean, you're going to say, hey, Most High made everything through a Mashiach Yahushua. He's going to say, hey, elements, I mean, he know about protons and neutrons and elements and atoms and so forth. He know about how to mix all that together, how you mix all that together to make it. He's going to dissolve it. Just say, there they are right there. Open up the earth. Like he opened up the earth and took people's houses, all of them that went against the Moses and all that, opened up the earth, let their houses go in and close it back up. And people heard them hollering and screaming. Look, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. You hear that? Like fire gonna devour stubble. And a strong people set in battle array. When he's raising up a great exceeding army that's gonna have his laws, statutes, commandments, and follow just what he wants them to do. This is what he say. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. But all the soot and all the destruction that's going to be going on in the earth, everybody going to be black. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one in his ways, on his ways. And they shall not break their ranks. They mean they're going to be marching. They're right, your left, your right, right, live. Going to be, and nobody going to break their rank. It's going to be right in order. Neither shall one thrust another. Ain't nobody gonna be killing each other either. No arguments. Everybody gonna be in order. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, it's spiritual power right here. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Woo! Man, that's deep right there. When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. That's spiritual power right there. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark because of all the destruction that's going on. And the stars shall withdraw their shining. You're going to see no stars, no moon, no sun. And the Most High shall utter his voice before his army. When we read about his army, in just in case you forgot, go to Ezekiel 37 and 10. Ezekiel 37:10. So he prophesied, so I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, which is the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Right? So here we are talking about. In Joel 2:11, in the Most High, while Mashiach shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, exceeding great army, right? For he is strong that executes his word. For the day of the Most High is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now, said the Most High, turn you even to me. Hear this word of the Most High with all your heart, with all your mind, and with fasting, and with weeping, crying. You want his attention? He said, fast and cry to him, and with mourning, and rend your heart, rend your mind, and not your garments. We used to tear our garments in humility to the Most High. He said, no, he wants your mind. He wants the way you think, and not your garments. And turn unto the Most High your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repent of him of the evil. You want him to repent of the evil against us as a people? Therefore also now, said the Most High, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting,